Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Yenakshara samamnayam Adhigamya maheshwarat Kritsnam vyakaranam proktam Tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram patanjalim Paninim sutrakarancha Pranatosmi munitrayam Vagarthaviva samprikto Vagarthav pratipattaye Jagatah pitaro vande Parvati parameshwaro Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Welcome everyone. Intermeshwara Sutta. Om A I Un Rilik E Ong I Ouch Haya Varat Lan Nyama Gana Nama Jabhanya Ghadadash Jabagadadash Kapha Chatha Chata Tav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani Om Tip Tas Ji Sip Tas Tha Mip Vas Mas Ta Atham Jha Thas Atham Dhvam It Vahi Mahinga Om Su Ojas Ot Shas Ta Bhyam Bhis Nge Bhyam Bhyas Ngasi Bhyam Bhyas Ngas Os Ni Os Sup. Okay. So today we're in this Kṛdanta section, and we're in this last part of the Kṛdanta section, Bhave and other Karakas. We've been looking at Lyut, and we just started Ghañ in our last class. So we'll start that, Ghañ. And yeah, so we'll see that. And we'll see some connected topics to the Ghañ and go from there. So this is, yeah, page 87 of the book, around there. When we're talking about Ghañ, the Ghañ denotes Ghanartha, which is funny, right? So there's those that have the meaning of Ghañ, but really what it's trying to say is it denotes bhava, the action itself, and any other karaka, but not karta. Okay? So we see this often. It's in the bhave section because it shows the bhava, but it can also be connected to any other karaka. So it can be kartari, karane, etc. Right? The content of Ghañ is just akara. Just akara, meaning that the ghakara and the nyakara are both removed. So you're just left with the that's in between the two. right? In between there is an it's invisible, right? But there is an akara there. So both these letters are removed. Okay. Because of this last letter, this akara, the suffix can cause vriddhi in the anga, which we're going to see again. We're going to look at that. We started talking about that last time. We're going to continue that again. So guna and vriddhi can either take place. Again, I'm going to clarify that in a moment, but they can take place. All gun ending words become punlinga. Okay. So this is in the bhave section. It can take any other karaka. The content is just akara. Ngakara is it. So therefore it can take vriddhi or liguna. And all the words become punlinga. They decline like a ending masculine, like a Rama. Rama itself is a gun ending word. Okay. So I was showing this last time. We started this section of common changes in the Anga, and I just wanted to come back to this. So this is earlier in the book. You can look it up it's topic number 4, common changes in the Anga. It's a little bit earlier in the book. We skipped over this because it would have seen too much, and now that we can see its relevance, now that we've studied some pratyas. So just coming back to this, just for this context, and so we won't spend too much time, but just wanted to point this out.
Yeah, page 17.
Page 17, thank you. Just a reminder, right? When we add a pratyaya to a dhatu, this dhatu gets a new status of anga, right? So that's what we're referring to as anga. The dhatu, which precedes the pratyaya, gets that status. Now, the vriddhi and guna can take place in that anga depending on the it letters of the pratyaya. So remember, I kept saying, oh, guna will take place, vriddhi will take place. And you just had to believe me at that time, right? Because we didn't study this yet. But guna and vriddhi take place because of the it letters. The it letter tells you whether guna and vriddhi can take place. So you can see now how much meaning is packed into each of these suffixes, why they're named such. Okay. So number 1, vriddhi can take place when the pratyaya is nit or nit. Okay. So when the pratyaya is either one of these two. When I say vriddhi, of course, we know that when we're talking about vriddhi, E becomes I, U becomes O, this R vowel becomes R. Okay. So let's look at this again. Where does vriddhi take place? Okay, vriddhi takes place at the last ik if the dhatu ends with ik. Okay, now this is where you need to know your Maheshvara Sutra. A, I, Unna, Rilik. So ik is any of the simple vowels other than akara. Not akara, but any I, U, R, L. One of these 4, not including these it letters. Right? So I, U, R, L. These 4 are an ik. So if the dhatu ends with one of these four letters, right? It's going to, that last ik is going to take vriddhi. So this dhatu ni, right? We have kuri nayak. This is how you make the word, right? Nayak. Starts with the dhatu ni with nvul. Vul becomes aka. Being, you see the it letter here was nit. Being nit, nvul causes vriddhi in the anga. So e becomes nai. And there's this sandhi, ayavayava sandhi. Nai becomes nai. So then you get nayaka. I becomes I. So you get nayaka. So because why? Because vul had this nit. So vriddhi took place at the last ik. Okay. Now, more relevant for our context is this. At the
What exactly do you mean by saying nit and nyat? Is it the nakara?
Yeah, so that which has this nakara as it, or this nakara as it. Meaning that it's going to be elided, right? Those are the it letters. So the nakara as it, meaning I can say nit. So here, this nakara in vul was it, so therefore it's called nit now. It's the one which has nakara as it, we can just call it nit for short.
Here, lakara is also it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Correct. But that's not relevant for this.
Okay.
Yeah, that has no real context for causing guna and vriddhi.
So the first it letter.
No, it can be anywhere in the pratyaya, as long as if either of these nakaras are it, then this will happen.
Then
At the last ik, if the dhatu ends with ik. Also, at the penultimate short akara, if the dhatu has one. Okay. So first, I look if this rule applies. Okay. But let's say I have something like pat. Pat does not have it does not end with an ik. So this does not apply. But I have a penultimate short akara. I mean, penultimate means second to last letter is penultimate. So the second to last letter is a. That's right. Pa, P-A-T, right? Pat. P-A-T-H, technically, right? But P-A-T. The second to last letter is a. So penultimate short akara, if the dhatu has one, this one does. And if the pratyaya has nit or nit, right? Same thing. Okay. So here, pat dhatu, dvu pratyaya suffix. That means pat now becomes anga. Nvul is replaced by aka. That's just how it is. Remember, we talked about this a long time ago. But that still does mean that this is nakara is it. Being a nit pratyaya, vul causes vriddhi in anga. So pat becomes pat. A becomes a. Pat plus aka, pataka, one who studies. Aka is kartari. This rule is kartari, so it's the one who does something, one who leads, one who studies. Okay, here, this one is why we were talking about this. We have Ghañ. Okay, so to pat, dhatu Ghañ, pratyaya is suffixed. Now, it letter is being removed, ga and na. We're just left with akara. Being nit, pratyaya, Ghañ causes vriddhi in the anga. So pat becomes pat. A becomes a. So pat plus a becomes patha. Patha means studying or study.
Mahodaya, so this is penultimate or
Correct. Yep, we have a penultimate short akara. Because it does not end with ik, right? Yeah. Now here, we'll see this as well. If vriddhi does not take place, guna can happen also. Okay, if vriddhi does not happen, then we want to think about guna. Why would guna not happen? Guna might not, or sorry, why wouldn't vriddhi happen? Vriddhi might not happen because we have neither apply. Okay, so let's see this. Okay. At the last ik, if the dhatu ends with ik. Now you remember, we just saw this. Why won't vriddhi take place here though? Because this pratyaya is not nit or nit. Okay, so that first section was only relevant with nit or nit. Here I have ni plus trich. So that whole first section is not going to apply. Chakara is the it letter. So we have ni plus trich causes guna in the anga because vriddhi is not possible. It's not nit or nit. Right? So E becomes a guna. You get netru.
Mahodaya, please repeat it. I didn't follow that.
Yep. So here, if we look at them together, might be too small. But here, in this first section, vriddhi takes place when the pratyaya is nit or nit, correct? Now, let's say we have a pratyaya like trich. There's no nit or nit. There's no nakara in there, right? So that vriddhi is not possible. And if vriddhi is not possible, guna can take place. So, ni plus trich, you remove the it letter, which is chakara, so you're left with tr. Because vriddhi is not possible, guna can take place, so E becomes A, and netru, one who leads, as kartri trich. Okay. Second one, lute. We saw lute. Again, lute is one of our bhave. Or it can be really any other karaka as well, but in the bhave section. Lute is replaced by ana. Now, so all of these are it, but there's no, it's not nit or nit, right? So vriddhi is not going to happen. Guna can take place in the anga, where at the last ik, if the dhatu ends with ik. Here, it does end with, we have a R, vowel R. That is one of the ik. I, U, R, L. So it ends with R, and guna can take place, becomes kar. Guna is ar, vriddhi would be ar, right? But here we have ar, kar plus ana, and natva sandhi takes place. Refa makes it more danya nakara, so you get karana, the means of doing something. Okay, thumbs up if this feels okay. Thumbs to the side, thumbs down if it's you need to pause.
I just had a question here.
Yeah.
So the lyut gives when you have a lyut pratyaya, it takes guna. Is it because of the la, or the vowel liya, whatever? That's the reason.
So it doesn't have to do with really any of that. What it has to do with is the only reason it has guna, because nit and nit are not there, so therefore vriddhi is not possible. And if vriddhi is not possible, then guna can happen.
So this could happen to any pratyaya.
That's not nit or nit, correct? Yeah. Okay, if the dhatu, the pen, so there's no last ik, but there's a penultimate short ik. In the first section, we just said penultimate short akara. Here we're saying penultimate short ik, if the dhatu has one. Okay. Bud plus Ghañ. Okay. Here, now this is a little tricky. I have a nit. So your first thing should say, okay, vriddhi is possible. Vriddhi is possible where? At the last ik. There's no ik, last ik here. It ends with the consonant. Or vriddhi is possible on the penultimate short akara. Here, I do not have a penultimate short akara. I have a u. And there at that penultimate short ik, I, U, R, L, guna can happen because vriddhi is not possible. So guna can take place in the anga. Bud becomes bodh. Bodh plus a, bodha. Right? Swami Tadatmananda is Arsha Bodha. This is Bodha, knowledge. Knowing or knowledge? Okay. All right, so same thing with this ish plus lut. Lut is replaced by ana. Lut, because vriddhi is not possible, causes guna in the anga. Ish becomes ish. Ish plus ana. You get natva sandhi eshana finally, altogether eshana. Desiring, or that which is desired, depending on the intention of the speaker. Okay, any questions with this before we move on? Okay. Just this, we don't need to spend too much time, but I wanted you, guna and vriddhi. So Urmilaji, so you said, so if can it happen everywhere else? Well, not necessarily. If the pratyaya is kit or this nakara, then guna and vriddhi is not possible. These stop guna and vriddhi. If you have kit or nit, I'm just saying, I'm not pronouncing the nga, right? But you know what I'm saying, you can see it on the screen. When the pratyaya is kit or nit, then guna and vriddhi is not. So we know this twa lyap, right? So here, because of kakara, there's no guna or vriddhi. right? So gunas can't, so it doesn't become kar or kar, right? So that happens.
So if we understand it right, so vriddhi takes the precedence. If vriddhi cannot, other than these two pratyayas, vriddhi cannot take place, then guna takes place.
Guna takes place, correct. Exactly. Yep. Okay. So coming back to Ghañ, where we all started, and this was just an excuse to do it here. We could have done it really anywhere, but here we have this last letter. This nakara is it letter, so it can cause vriddhi. But if vriddhi is not going to happen, it can also cause guna in certain occasions, right? So that's why it says guna and vriddhi can take place. Okay. Now let's look at Vigraha Vakyam. We've been skipping Vigraha Vakyam for some time. Let's look at this one. I don't know why today I'm choosing all the hard topics. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. What is a Vigraha Vakya? Vigraha Vakya, right? Vakya means sentence. Vigraha means explanation or explanatory. Explanatory. Yeah, it sounds funny when I'm saying it, but it's a sentence which explains. It gives you the essence of the meaning. So when you are in Bhave, this has been the case for some time. Other Kṛdanta words which also are in Bhave can be used as an explanation. So for example, this word pataha, okay, pataha, first of all, is a Ghañ ending word, right? You have pat plus Ghañ, it causes vriddhi, becomes pa, right? And then you have akara for Ghañ, so pata, and then one is pataha, like Ramaha. Okay, both words are made up of pat. This other one, though, is pat plus lyut. Lyut becomes ana. So pat plus ana becomes patana. So both are in the sense of bhave. They're in bhava artha. They're both have that sense of just the dhatu itself. So I can say, what is the meaning of pataha? I can say patanam iti pataha. What is the meaning of pataha? Patanam iti pataha. Reading is reading. So iti here is you can just put as an equal sign. Okay. This is this. Patanam iti pataha. So they're both using this bhave artha krit pratyas. They're using Kṛdanta, which are in bhave. The meaning of both words is studying or study. Patanam iti pata. If we're doing karmani, so remember, it's this Ghañ can be in other karakas, right? Other than kartari, but bhave and anything else. So if it's karmani, meaning it's pointing to the karma, the object, you use a tinganta word in karmani prayoga. Or other Kṛdanta words which indicate karma. But let's look at this. So karmani prayoga. We know karmani prayoga, right? You get yakara and atmanepada. So I want to make this word lokaha, right? Lokaha is a Ghañ ending word, right? You get, right? Luk dhatu plus Ghañ, you get guna, so it becomes lok, plus you get lokaha. I hope you can follow that. That's a little fast. But lokaha is a Ghañ ending word. But this intention of the speaker is not experience. I mean, it's what is experience. It's the object of experience is what is indicated by the word loka. So the speaker may just say lokaha, and you'll say, which loka? What do you exactly mean by the loka? Then they can give you the vigraha vakya to tell you exactly what are they pointing to. Is it bhave? Is it karmani? Is it karane, etc.? So they'll say, if it's karmani, they'll say lokyate iti lokaha. The same dhatu is put in karmani prayoga lat lakara. Lokyate iti lokaha. What is experienced is lokaha. This is,
I had a question about pataha.
yeah, go ahead.
But pataha. Now the lokaha is experience. So what would be the vibhakti of the pataha and lokaha? I think
They're both 1-1,
both are one.
like Rama.
But we go on to say that in Ghañ we do not have karta. So 1-1 is karta. That's confusion.
Ah, okay. I see what you mean by that. So when we make something in 1-1, here the meaning of the word itself, so pataha means studying or just the act of study. So study. Okay. So study itself can be 1-1. It's not kartari, because it's not saying the one who studies. It's just the act of study. And that can be in the first case. It's not necessarily referring to the karta of study. Is that helpful?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but
When we see some sentences, maybe it'll be more clear. Yeah.
Is it like mama nama ramaha? It would be like, it's not karta, it's just that it's a ramaha, is a prathama, but has nothing to do with karta, mama nama, something like that?
Yeah, it could be yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's like when you have, yeah, bhavati or something like that, then it's not kartari. Yeah, that's a little bit different. So
Okay.
let's maybe hold that. I'll show you some sentences, or it'll be more clear as we learn more about this. Yeah. Harprasadji, did you have a question also?
Yes, Mahodaya. Is
Yeah.
most of the Pullinga words, do they end with Ghañ?
I don't know. I've never done a study, but like we learn Ramaha first because so much of Punlinga is like this. So yeah, a lot of Punlinga will be Ghañ ending because it's like Rama. That's why we learn it first. You get so much of the language by learning Rama. So,
Amaha, Lokaha, or Pataha.
yeah, exactly. You'll see a lot of words because of this. So we do have to end, so we'll have to continue with this, right? We still have some, yeah, to study. Let me see if we have any. So to answer your question, you see in these sentences, Urmilaji, you can have 1-1, but first case is not always the karta. First case can also be karmani prathama. Right? If it's in karmani prayoga. So for example, this first sentence, tattvasya bodha upadishyate. Upadishyate. You're in karmani prayoga. Upadishyate is taught. What is taught? Bodha. Knowledge is taught. So therefore, you don't have it in the, it's first case, but not in the, it's not kartari, it's karmani. Here you have a sentence, upasamharaha kartavyaha. Kartavyaha is also karmani, should be done. What should be done? Upasamharaha, that's first case, karmani prathama to kartavya. What should be done? Conclusion, upasamharaha kartavyaha. Okay, so here I wanted to show you the sentence because it'd be more clear that you can have first case, but it doesn't have to be kartavya. It can be karmani also, right? Nashaha na upapadyate, same thing, right? You have upapadyate, which is karmani prayoga. Okay, so that's you'll see it like that. But I'll talk more about this in the next class, but we'll leave it at that for now. So it says upasamharaha kartavya, so we should take the hint. Conclusion should be done. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.